Welcome back to the channel guys, and in today's video we are going to see the current team which I'm using, consisting of Pelliper Lead, Shadow Machamp and Galarian Stunfisk. So this is the team. I've been doing really well with it, and I managed to secure another 5 and 5 and 0 set and reach rank 14 with it. So unfortunately this will not be the 5 and 0 set because I was not recording at the time, since I had already played 2 sets with it. But the other 2 sets as well, one went in 3 and 1 because one game I played with another team, which yeah, that was a different team. But the other set was 4 and 1 as well. So far the score with this team is 12 and 2 out of the 14 games I played with it. And this team is really strong in my opinion, because Pelliper Lead can cover a lot of general leads as well. Especially like against Galvantula, you are dealing super effective damage with those wing attacks as well. So I really like Pelliper Lead, and with all the Talonflames lying around, I think Pelliper is a strong Pokemon to have at your side. So before we start with the team composition, if you are new to the channel and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. We are just 4 subscribers away from 500 subscribers, and do make it happen guys. Help us reach out the 500 subs. And if you want to join the Battlestar Discord server, the link to that is in the description down below. So moving on to the team composition, as I mentioned, the team which we are using today is Pelliper, Shadow Machamp and Galarian Stunfisk. So there is no such safe swap assigned in this team. I think wherever you feel like Pelliper loses the lead, or the other Pokemon has the advantage in the back, so keep that it. But what I've seen really is that a lot of people are running Talonflame. So every Pokemon in this team count has the potential to one-shot the Talonflame. Not Pelliper, but Pelliper does win in a lot of shielding scenarios. So if you look at the PV poke rating, the safety is rated as A and coverage is rated as B, which I think is really good. So with Shadow Machamp in the back, I think if you are able to pressure the shields early with Pelliper or the Galarian Stunfisk, then Shadow Machamp just can wreck everything in the back. So the downside of this team obviously will be its bulk, because Pelliper as well as Shadow Machamp are not that bulky. But with Pelliper in the lead, I think I have never been really been forced to use shields, and all the swap ins. I think I felt like I do have a decent coverage with this team as well. So all in all, I think this team is pretty good, and I would recommend you guys using this team. You guys should at least check this team out. And if you manage to use this team and get some wins, or are not able to get some wins, do let me know in the comment section down below. So without further delays, let's start with the battles to see how the battle goes. So picking up the positive lead in the form of this Talonflame, and as I mentioned, Talonflame is everywhere. So you do need to be cautious about a Brave Bird, because Brave Bird will one-shot you. So they shield the Weather Ball, and I immediately shield because I was the Brave Bird fear is immense. But now that they have Brave Birded, this Weather Ball would KO, and they recognize the fact and they swapped into Swampert. So this is just a Hydro Cannon. I don't need to shield that because it's resisted, but still coming in from Shadow Swampert, it does massive amount of damage. So I'm staying in this matchup because I really want to pressure the last shield of the opponent, or get rid of the Swampert, because this is going to be a problem. So we are able to take down the Swampert, and they come in with Talonflame. And since Incinerate animation is so long, we are able to get to another Weather Ball. This will pressure the last shield at the opponent's end, and it was a CMP tie as well. So this is the reason that Pelliper will win against Talonflame in two shield scenarios. So now in comes the Galarian Stunfisk, and I came in with the Galarian Stunfisk because Galarian Stunfisk will be able to one-shot the Talonflame with the Rock Slide, whereas Machamp will take a while to get to its Rock Slide, and in comes Toxicroak. So this is not really looking good, especially since we are out of shields. So I farmed some extra energy, and I think I throwed to force a CMP tie there, or not. I'm not really sure whether it was a CMP tie or not. But going for a cross chop, this will bring down the Toxicroak in the Rock Slide range, and the Toxicroak, since it throws the energy, and they will not be able to throw. So this Rock Slide will be able to take out the Toxicroak. So yeah, that Toxicroak towards the end could have been the problem. But yeah, GG's. Moving on to the next one, picking up another Talonflame Lead, and this time the opponent swaps right away into the shift tree. So this is looking like to be some sort of Caleb Peng's variation of of the double grass team, so we will have to see about that. So in comes Talonflame, so we throw this cross chop because this is most likely to get shielded, but the opponent does a very smart move, or it was kind of a brave move not to shield, but going for another cross chop, and they shield around this time. So this is this ends up being okay for us, and not really good. It would have been good to get a knockout with the Rock Slide earlier on, but we are able to throw this Weather Ball before the Talonflame gets to another charge move. And if you saw my previous Talonflame video, you might already know that Talonflame is gets to Brave Bird and Flame Charge at the same time. So this indeed was another version of the Caleb Pank's line, wherein he replaced Kamari with the Talonflame. And we do have, even though we have Galarian Stunfisk in the back, I really want to chip the Meganium down, because Meganium can hit really hard with the Earthquake. So really I want to put this Meganium in the Rock Slide range, and they will be wasting their energy on Pelliper with the Frenzy Plant. I mean, not wasted, because Pelliper was chunking away, but this puts down Meganium in the Rock Slide range, and we are out of the Earthquake range. So this is looking really good, because we are able to take the win out of that match. So yeah, GG's. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Swampert Lead. So this is a neutral lead unless you take a Sludge Wave to the face, and they swap out into Cresselia. So I stay in for a bit because I really wanted to bring down the Cresselia very low before swapping into Galarian Stunfisk. Surprisingly, they shield, because people generally don't shield the Cresselia, and that was the reason I went for a Hurricane. But pretty good shield at the opponent's end. But at this point, I just want to get rid of this this Galarian Stunfisk, because it's a dead weight at this point of time. So going for an Earthquake, this definitely will not get shielded, because the opponent is down a shield, and they do have a counter, very good counter to Galarian Stunfisk in the back. So at this point I am looking down to shield, because I really want to win the switch advantage here, especially since the Swampert had a Hydro Cannon ready. So opponent made a very quick move of swapping into their Swampert, which I was expecting, but I was too slow to get through that. But this enables the Swampert to switch locks up against our Pelliper. We take a Sludge Wave to the face, which is not good, but we will be able to counter down the Swampert, and expecting Cresselia to come back in, and Cresselia indeed comes back in. So I go for a Rock Slide. Probably Cross Chop would have been able to take the Cresselia out. But they shielded the Rock Slide, which indicates that they have something weak to Shadow Machamp in the back. So they definitely I would want to shield the Grass Knot, and I make a mistake of I got a bit greedy of going to go for a farm down. This knocks out our Machamp, and in comes Pelliper, and they do have an Umbreon in the back. So if that was just a play of overfarming. If we had not overfarmed, I think we would have been able to take that match. But yeah, it is what it is. And moving on to the next one, picking up an Azumarill Lead, and this lead is good as long as the Azumarill will take a Hurricane. So that this is the reason I don't shield the first charge move, because the opponent is not likely to shield, and they do not shield the Hurricane. And now they swap into Sableye. So I swapped into Galarian Stunfisk because Pelliper might have gotten farmed down at that range, and what's this thing? The Sableye would have taken a Weather Ball comfortably. So this is the reason I came in with Galarian Stunfisk. So we are able to bait with a Rock Slide, and now we are going to throw this Earthquake, and this Earthquake will do massive amount of damage onto the Sableye, which does not get shielded, and we will be able to farm down the Sableye. They would be very close to a foul play, and we are able to get to another Earthquake, and this will take down the Azumarill. So this is looking really good, but they have an Altaria in the back. So I really need to start pressuring the opponent shields, but they do not shield, recognizing that they will not be able to that the Rock Slide will not KO. And at this point my only win condition is that I need to counter down the Altaria, because the Altaria has a shield, so there is no way I'm getting to 2 Rock Slides or even 2 Cross Chops for that matter. And but Shadow Machamp counter damage is really good. So really looking good. Getting a bit of lag, which got me worried. Probably they were able to sneak in a couple of Dragon Breaths, but this Altaria is super low, and we will be able to mud shot down to take the match with 1 HP. So yeah, that was a very close one, and GG's. Moving on to the next one, picking up a positive lead in the form of this Roserade. So Roserade will be taking super effective damage, but will be taking resisted from the Weather Ball. But Roserade is so squishy that it still does massive amount of damage. So Grass Knot, Weather Ball, no need to worry. Even though Grass Knot surprisingly did lot more than I expected, but yeah, Pelliper is squishy and Roserade is attack weighted Pokemon. So in comes Alolan Raichu, and we do have an answer to that in the form of the Galarian Stunfisk. So this Rock Slide will be doing massive amount of damage, which gets shielded surprisingly, and they switch in with Politoed. And with 2 shields up, I think we are looking really good because one Cross Chop and Politoed will be back in the Pokeball. So going for Cross Chop immediately because Rock Slide, you don't want to throw Rock Slide. This grabs the last shield of at the Politoed's end, and I just want to keep the Machamp alive to knock down the Politoed because Politoed up against the Galarian Stunfisk will be a problem. So going for a Cross Chop, and this Cross Chop will be able to take down the Politoed. Politoed is bulky, but Machamp is Machamp. So in comes Alolan Raichu, and they do not farm the extra energy, which is really good because the Machamp has done its job, and this Alolan Raichu is just one Earthquake away to get back into its Pokeball. They go for a Psychic, so they are running Thunderbolt and Thunder Punch and Psychic, which is a very interesting move, but taking the win regardless. GG's. Moving on to the next one, picking up a very negative lead. So I swap into Machamp because Galarian Stunfisk will be having Galarian Stunfisk matchup is better than the Shadow Machamp. So this draws out their fighter, which is really good because I don't want the Galarian Stunfisk up against a Toxicroak. I do not shield the Mud Bomb. I'm keeping the switch advantage because at this point I will be looking to completely farm down this Toxicroak. I need to invest a shield definitely but they bait with a Mud Bomb. I think that they did not charge up to a Sludge Bomb, but I did not want to take any risk. So going for a Hurricane, this would do resisted damage, but they end up shielding that. So I tried to catch on a Thunderbolt there, but they swap into Talonflame, and yeah, with energy advantage, I think Talonflame cannot do anything against this Stunfisk. It survived though, which is really good, but I need to call the Hydro Pump correctly. They go for a Thunderbolt bait. So but I think they are running Charge Beam and not Spark, so it will take them a while to get to the charge move, but Earthquake will take out the Lanturn, and that Talonflame surprisingly survived a Rock Slide. So that was news to me because I thought that it would KO, but yeah, it's good to know. So the opponent makes a really good job of catching the Weather Ball onto this Mandibuzz. And at this point I was feeling really confident in this match, but they are running Dark Pulse instead of Foul Play, so it's doing bit more damage. And Mandibuzz is so tanky, I think it can tank 3 to 4 Rock Slice coming in from Galarian Stunfisk. So questionable decision that I did not came in with Machamp, but yeah, I'll make a series of controversial plays in this particular match. So I look to farm down, and they are able to get to another charge move. So this is not really good. I do not shield. Probably I should have shielded that one because the switch advantage was really crucial, but they come in with Swampert anyway, which is quite surprising. So I shielded that. It ends up being an Hydro Cannon, so this is not really good. And the Weather Ball will be doing some decent neutral damage onto the Swampert because of its ground typing. So they shield the Weather Ball, and this indicates to me that they have something weak to Pelliper in the back. It's just a Hydro Cannon. It was too soon to be a Sludge Wave, so I did not shield that. Again, it's just a Hydro Cannon, so I'm not investing any shield. I'm keeping the shield for Machamp. So going for Weather Ball, and I think Swampert wins the CMP against Pelliper because it looked like to be a CMP. So Swampert will go down to the wing attacks, and in comes Medichamp. So Medichamp will be taking some neutral damage from the Weather Balls, but taking super effective from the wing attacks. And at this point I wanted to chip down at this Medichamp as much as possible. So going for a Cross Chop, and they shield the Cross Chop, obviously. Why would they not? So I shield the Ice Punch, but at this point Medichamp had an head start on the energy from Machamp, so it will be able to get to this Ice Punch. And I think I should have swapped into Machamp right away, but yeah, made some questionable plays, but yeah, I think the matchup would not have changed regardless. So yeah, GG's. Moving on to the next one, picking up a positive lead, and they swapped into Shadow Scissor right away. And at this point, I was like, I was like super confused of how of what to come back in with. I made the decision to come back in with Machamp instead of Galarian Stunfisk. Yeah, definitely a questionable play. But they shield the cross chop, and we go down at the same time. So this is looking really good, and they just revealed that they have Azumarill. So this is perfect for us because I will be able to pair the Galarian Stunfisk up against this Azumarill and keep Medichamp for Pelliper. They shield the Earthquake, which is really good, and it's too soon to be an Hydro Pump, so I do not shield. It's just an Ice Beam, and a lot of Azumarils are running Ice Beam and Play Rough. So this Galarian Stunfisk matchup becomes a bit more easier. And they go for an Ice Punch bait, they throw an Ice Punch which gets our shield, but this Hurricane will be able to knock out this Medichamp comfortably, and at this point we can survive a Play Rough as well. So I just I shield a questionable play again, but it was just an Ice Beam, so we would have survived the Play Rough as well. But I wanted to keep the Pelliper healthy just to get to this Hurricane, and this Hurricane will do massive amount of damage onto the Azumarill, and this puts Azumarill in the Weather Ball range, but we will go down to this Ice Beam, but we are almost at another Rock Slide, and we will be able to take the win of this one. So yeah, GG's. Moving on to the next one, and let's see what do we get. Probably should have cut short this part out, but we are in a Toxicroak matchup, so positive lead yet again. And this is what I meant, that Pelliper catches a lot of leads, so I am able to catch onto this discharge onto the Galarian Stunfisk, and that feeling was really good. So now this puts us equal in terms of energy, and going for an Earthquake straight away because they are not likely to shield. They would want to pair the Toxicroak up against the Galarian Stunfisk as soon as possible, and I am not really worried about shielding here because we can take a few hits. So not shielding again because we can survive this Mud Bomb far enough to farm down the opponent's Stunfisk, and we are at another Rock Slide. So I throw immediately because I knew Toxicroak was coming in, and this will pressure the shield at the Toxicroak ends, which they do, and this puts us really in a positive spot. The opponent makes a very quick swap onto this Bastiodon to take on the Weather Ball, but still it does massive amount of damage. We will be able to completely farm down this Bastiodon, and this is bad news for Toxicroak because we do have almost full health Pelliper in the back, and they are forced to shield, which is like even better for us because Rock Slide, questionable play could have gone for Cross Chop as well, but I think Rock Slide in this situation is better. And at this point I just need, the game is pretty much over with the two shields. Even if they bait us, we have another shield, but they go for a Sludge Bomb right away, and this basically seals the game. So yeah, able to take down that win. So yeah, I think this team is pretty strong, and shields down. This team not only pressure the shields but also has hard hitting moves, and I really like this one. And if you use this team and manage to secure a few wins with it, or you have any suggestions about this one, do let me know in the comment section down below. And thanks for watching. Peace.